Commuting on your bicycle, whether it's to work, classes, or even just to the grocery store, can be a great way to save money on transit, stay fit and healthy, and also to reduce your impact on pollution in your area. However, if you live in a city, you might feel a little wary of making those trips on the bike. It's common to feel cautious or a lack of confidence in your riding when faced with the chaos that is city traffic. But with a few tips, you can build up your confidence to conquer your ride and the road. My name is Kelsey Lee, and this is How to Have Confidence in Your City Commute. Tip number 1 is to make sure that your equipment is running smoothly and without any issues. This includes your bike, which should have the proper amount of air in the tires and components that are all tuned and working properly. If you don't have to worry about mechanical issues during your ride, you'll be able to focus all of your energy on the road ahead of you and behind you. 360 awareness, but we'll get to that in a second. Tip number 2 is to make sure that you are prepared with whatever safety equipment is necessary for you on your ride. This includes your helmet, bright lights if you're going to be riding during darker hours, and sunglasses to protect your eyes from the sun, but also from the debris and dust that might be flying around on a windy day, which you don't want to have to worry about when you're trying to keep your eyes on the road. You'll also need to make sure you check the weather before you leave so that you are dressed appropriately, whether it's for cold weather or hot. If you're overheating or you're too cold, you'll be uncomfortable and could lose your focus. You want to keep your body at a nice regulated temperature so that you can be extra conscious and aware of your surroundings. You might also want to wear bright colors for added visibility while you ride. But if you like to wear darker colors and don't want to switch up your outfit, you can simply opt for a brightly colored bag to place all your belongings in while you ride. Tip number 3 is to map out your route before you go. If you're stressed out about directions or getting lost, you might be out of tune with the flow of the traffic on the road. If you plan to take the same route often, a good idea is to take a practice ride on a Saturday morning or a Sunday when traffic is a little quieter and the roads aren't as hectic. This way you can have a nice, easy, relaxing ride to get used to your route. Now, let's get to the actual cycling. Tip number 4 is to keep your head on a swivel and frequently employ the use of shoulder checks while you ride. Just a quick check over your shoulder can tell you if a car is behind you or in the next lane over, which is important information you need to know before switching your position in traffic or making a turn. This way you can keep a good eye on the road all around you as opposed to just looking straight ahead. This is also a good way to let drivers know that you can see them and you expect them to give you enough space. Tip number 5 is to identify the problem spots in a bike lane. Some cyclists assume that just because they are riding in a painted bike lane automatically means that they will be safe. However, not all drivers understand the laws surrounding bike lanes and don't always respect the cyclist right of way. So, when approaching an intersection that a bike lane goes straight through, always be conscious of the turning lane and drivers that like to whip right through it. If you are going slow enough to safely stop abruptly, be prepared to use your brakes if a car pulls ahead of you to make a turn, which they will. As much as we would love all drivers to be perfect, you have to be prepared for drivers that don't respect the cyclist right of way. However, if you are traveling at a high speed in the bike lane, you might want to approach this situation differently. If you spot a car turning ahead of you, creating a hazard where you don't have enough time to stop safely, check over your shoulder to see if the lane beside you is clear. This way, you can merge around the car as it turns, therefore cutting out any possibility of the car turning into you and making impact. Just remember to always shoulder check first before you change your line. Tip number 6 is to take the lane when necessary. In most cities, it is legal for a cyclist to travel in the car lane when a bike lane isn't present. Even though it might feel a little strange at first, like you don't quite belong there, know that you are safer in a bigger, wider lane than you are riding right on the edge of it, sandwiched between the car traffic lane and a bunch of parked cars. Doing so puts you right into what's called the door zone, which means you run the risk of colliding head-on with a car door that someone yanked open without checking to see if a cyclist was coming. or swerving into traffic if an obstacle appears. Remember that you are one person on a bicycle, just as many drivers in cars are one person in a massive vehicle taking up even more space than you. So you deserve to be on the road just as much as anyone else. So those are my 6 tips to help you gain confidence while you ride through your city. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, confidence comes with practice. So the more you ride, the better you'll get. So get out there and get those wheels moving.